25 years ago, and don't think I've given it since because it caused a tremendous amount of controversy at the time, and it's time to get controversial again, I think. So this is from my pre-digital days, and therefore, when I made copies back then for handouts for shiur, I made them on legal-size paper, which was save paper time, but it was kind of stupid because now I cannot really scan the legal-size papers and make them legible with one scan. So each thing has to be scanned twice, which is a problem. But that's the way it goes. So this first scan is about the topic which we're going to discuss, I should say, is the communal unity, and to what extent communal unity is or is not encouraged in Judaism, and by halacha and by hashkafa. And here we see a tshuva from R Moshe Feinstein from the year 1961 to his friend Reb Binyamin Rotislavsky Shlita. I don't know who that is. It's not important right now. But Moshe was asked, I was asked, member. Are you allowed to be a member? Are you allowed to be a member of an institution which they're Mechal Shabbos Yontif? And the clear indication, as they were talking about, is that we are talking about a JCC which is open on Shabbos and Yontif, and therefore is one in which Chilul Shabbos and Yontif takes place. Pashut ubarur, it is clear and obvious. She'asur l'shum ish v'isham Yisrael lios member Mossad Kazeh. No Jew may be a member in such an institution. Avshul Yonei Tzedakah, even though it has to do with Tzedakah and Chesed and Tovas B'nei Ha'ir and the good of the people of the city. Kiafim hu lo yechalel Shabbos, even if you're not being Mechalel Shabbos, Harei U'Misayeh l'Chilul Shabbos Yontif Barabim. You are helping to assist Chilul Shabbos Yontif for masses. Shugam Chilul Hashem B'Faresiyah, which is also a Chilul Hashem in an outright public fashion, U'B'Chabura, and in a group. Mitzad Ina Chilul Hashem hu lo rak Misayeh. And so Hashem, you're not just assisting. You are truly doing a Ma'aseh of Chilul Hashem. Because your name is also included in this. You are considered one of their members. But other, on the contrary, called tatstiki, any rationale, I should say rationalization. No, that's not the right word. Any possible way, which you can do, in a manner which you can do, based on the laws of the country, to cancel the existence of such an institution, you must cancel it. Even though by this some tzedakah matter which the institution does will be canceled. So that is the end of this tshuva. Moshe does not even bring evidence for this because he says it's pashut. He was not allowed to be a member in institutions Mechal Shabbos. Here's another tshuva from Moshe about this, which is, you scroll down a bit here.
So does that include like a government?
No, it's more like a Torah Derech Eretz thing, like a Hershey Torah Derech Eretz. Okay, but let's see if maybe this will answer your question more directly. Siman Kuf. Be'inyanim yesh la'atir lios bevad echodim kofrim shenaseh letzorchei Yehudim. Is one allowed to be in one communal organization with kofrim, with heretics, when it's being done for the purpose of the Jews? It is a tshuva from 1970. It's a tshuva to Mexico City, the Ashkenazic Kehillah in Mexico. In terms of the communal committee of the Kehillah, Shigaman Yonit Tzorchei Ha'ir, also has to do with the matters of the necessities of the city. V'socham ikagam Yonit Tzedakah, the matters of tzedakah, culture, chinuch, education, v'gam religia department, a religious department, v'avadu who are kohen yonim, and this committee has to do with all the matters. Shakol Departmentin Nostim Al Yidei Vadzeh. All the departments are started or are founded by this committee. V'chlod Zeh Arbei Yishonim. It's been decided already for many years. Asher religious department, that the religious department be me'anshe emunah b'derech haTorah shenikra Orthodoxia. That the Orthodox should call the religious department. But now they also want to bring conservatives into the Vod. Now it seems that Reb Moshe would have been okay, although we'll have to see further in the Tshuva, with an Orthodox department being in charge of religious affairs and non-Orthodox Jews being in charge of other affairs, which would not be Hershey and Derech Eretz, because according to Reb Sam Sofal Hirsch, you may not be a partner in any institution which does not have Torah as its banner over all aspects of its governance, regardless of whether it's the religious department or any other department. But Rav Moshe seems not to have that problem. Moshe's specific problem is that here they want to bring conservative Jews into the governance area of the religious department. So because you protested, the other side suggested, Shavo conservativim b'shem bachter ada b'chiros. I'm not sure what exactly a bachter means. Perhaps some sort of candidate. Until the votes, but then they won't get involved in religious matters at all. In other words, there's going to be some sort of arrangement where they'll be voted, but then they won't get involved. They say, is this necessary for you to remove yourselves from this committee in order to form an exclusively Orthodox committee? Now he says, and this is in contradiction to what I said before, I don't understand something. How is it until now? I guess were there only Orthodox representatives? Or those who don't believe in HaKadosh Baruch Hu and His Torah. And because the language of your question, that they decided religious department that the religious department will be Orthodox department of Mikofrim. It sounds like the other departments were run also by Mikofrim, by heretics. If the committee only existed of the representatives from the Orthodox community, mashma, it sounds that Shishar department, the name of Mikofrim, that other departments are also made up of heretics. Rak mi what men are Orthodox, because if it was the whole committee was only of Orthodox representatives, lo yavshar gam b'chol department m'shusham kam koifrim, could not have been heretics in the other departments. Vrachika gam chinuch v'kultur, especially because they're separate departments for education and culture. Shlohich nisum metocha religious department, which not include religious department. V'im ikar, and they're primary. They're more important than the religious department. You cannot leave, then this will be involved also heretics. You only have in such departments people with pure belief. You have Hashem Yisbarach who are God-fearing. They may not agree about chinuch and culture, education and culture, which are not in the manner of Torah, ve'emunah, ha-tohera amitis, and true and pure belief. And if until now the committee was with of all the people, including heretics, lo muvan man is chadesh atal yoser. It is not clear what now has happened, which is different than before. Our company, nevertheless, whatever was now is not relevant to the psak halacha. as according to the strict letter of the law, tzarich lisrachek mikol b'chol efshar meila konservativim. One has to deal with itself as to the utmost on conservatives. Shingam kin koifrim barbei kori hados. They also deny many precepts of the religion. Bar mitzvahs of Torah, many mitzvahs of our Torah. V'rov rabbis shelohem. As you may know, R Moshe never wrote Rabbanim about conservative or certainly reform rabbis. He always writes in his tshuva, rabbis. Reish Aleph Beis Yud Yud Samach. Okay, most of the rabbis mesitim umdichim. They missionize and they seduce people, the kfira to heresy, Shabbos and to desecrate Shabbos, loading averos chamrus and many severe averos. There's no difference between a conservative rabbi and any other heretic. And they become worse and worse from day to day. I don't think R Moshe in 1970 could have imagined how bad it would be 50 years later. And the last thing that they did, that they gave strength to the heretics and the wicked people, Sheba Knesset, the Eretz Yisrael, which are in the Israeli parliament, to consider complete non-Jews as Jews. This is in 1970 was the height of the controversy, which is called Miu Yehudi, who is a Jew. And the controversy was about people who were converted by conservative reform rabbis, whether they were considered to be Jewish. And in fact, since that time, although there's no conservative reform conversion in Eretz Yisrael, conservative and reform converts or people from patrilineal descent, if I recall correctly, as long as one grandparent is Jewish, are considered in Eretz Yisrael to be Jews, to be full Jews in terms of the law of return, in terms of being allowed to make aliyah. And this was considered to be a horrible thing at the time by many great rabbis, and including R Moshe. The Lubavitcher Rebbe was a particular a crusader in this regard, trying to prevent this law from being passed. For a while, at any Lubavitch Chasna, somebody had to get up in the middle of the Chasna, I don't think they still do it, and at least clap on a table and say, Miu Yehudi, in order to be a protest, a minimal protest, against the law in the state of Israel. If they were able to elaborate on that protest, they were supposed to. But that was the minimal protest one was supposed to do at the very least. This shows shekvar she'ein rotzon lios klal chelek meYisrael ha'ma'aminim. Sorry. They will only be all part of the Jews who believe. B'nei ma'aminim. We're over here. This was the base. This area. I can't really see my mouse, so this is not sure that's much good. Okay, they don't want to be part of the Jews, believers, the children of believers who gave their lives a la Torah mitzvah for Torah mitzvahs for rotzim shis arvu b'nei Yisrael ma'anachim. They want the Jews to commingle with goyim chas v'shol. The Kosev Omer and the pasuk says about, I believe it was Yehoshaphat the king, b'yischabrecha l'Rosha, when you join up with the Rosh, if I recall correctly, that's one of Achrab's sons, I forget his name. Paratz Hashem es ma'asecha. Hashem destroyed your deeds. After Yehoshaphat, yes, even though this joining Yehoshaphat to the king in the north, Ela Binyani Spinos, was only matters of shipping, Larvachas HaMedinos, for the mutual benefit of the different kingdoms. Ibra, however, the Mayaz, the Rakin Yonia, Irva Medina, if it was only concerning matters of the city and the country, Shemuchrochim B'chol Medina, which is necessary in every country, these your eights to take counsel, Im Kol Ezrachei Ha'ir, with all the citizens in the city, Medina and the country. Bein Nochim Ben Yisrael, whether Jews or non-Jews, Lo Shayach Lischalek, obviously you cannot separate from them, because matters have to do with the general state. Avodvarim Shayachim Medina, Oskim Bezem Moshe Medina. But those things, matters have to do with the state, those have to do with the governors of the state. And listen to Mavadim, they make the committees. Lo Shaykh Lavadim Shosim Ayudim, it's nothing to do with the committees you make. Your committee is made only for the Jews. Only. And there's nothing, no matter, Shelo Yiyeh Shaykh L'Nei Torah, which is not relevant to the laws of Torah. After it's talk of a culture and culture of chinuch, matters of talk and certainly matters of culture and education. The kol ikar may mean yoni Torah, all of which are matters of Torah. Ein b'shum ofen, one may not be, no matter what. Lios bevad echad im hakoifrim mikol haminim. To be in a committee with heretics of all sorts. The tzarich lasos kilim yuchedes, one has to make a separate kihila. Mishamrei Torah Levanim, because it's the only of Shamrei Torah. Chen Yonim Shenasa was Yudim for anything which have to do with the Jews. Shechem Pashut, therefore it's obvious. Imayo Aratonami, both from Lotov, and if until now it's also in a manner which is no good. Tzarich L'Sharnos V'Lasos Kiddush Kasafti. You have to change it and do it as I have written. So R Moshe here comes out clearly in the camp, although I don't even know if he knew Rav Shalom Shafol Hirsch had said this 120 years earlier. But Rav Moshe comes across clearly as saying that the position one must take is an absolutist position, not to be at all in partnership with non-Orthodox Jews. Okay, no matter what the issues are of the committee. There's one more tshuva for Rav Moshe here. This is a part of the longer tshuva. Over here, V'neba Federation. Shenostim magaboy gam lemostas hakofim. If in a Jewish federation, which of course are prevalent today, just as much as they were in 1970, almost every town in America with any number of Jews has a federation. All right. The gaboy gam lemostas hakofim called the Shela reformer, conservative. All right. Also, litain l'shom klal af lo ma'od tzedakah. You're not allowed to give there anything to such a federation, even tzedakah money. Because then you're supporting with your money most those institutions which educate kids to deny the basic precepts of Judaism. They are like missionaries and seducers. And it's as if you're helping them. When we stop it, and it makes sense, it's even worse. We know that giving a non-Jews allows Rom to assist them, leave no space to build a church. It's worse to give a federation than to give a church money. It's worse to give a federation money than to give a church money to build the church. Why is that? There is no potential of missionizing and seducing, at least it's remote, that they're going to come after the Jews. There's only a prohibition of lifnei iver. Shulai go rain ben nesina. So maybe you're causing with your giving sheyavro nochim alisa avodah as the non-Jews are going to transgress the prohibition of avodah zarah. So also might be a prohibition be some mahana avodah zarah to give benefit of avodah zarah, which is not such a severe prohibition. So you can deplete as avodah zarah daf gimel. Some say it's not a problem in Masechus avodah zarah. For acharei nimtza she'ozer, here it comes out that you are assisting less l'isur mesis umediach, to the prohibition of missionizing and seducing, shu isur hayoser chomer, which is the most severe prohibition in the Torah. The isur mesis umediach, this prohibition, who afal chometz is the Torah. It's if the person comes, the missionary comes to do something to transgress any mitzvah Torah. Avshenu chayim misa. Even though if somebody seduces you to another Isra, we don't put him to death. And how do we know? How do we know there's a prohibition for any mitzvah? Because we learned the prohibition of seducing, or I should say the severity of seducing from the ancient snake, a mitzvah ba'alma, where he seduced them to eat from the tree. V'lo al avodah zarah. He didn't seduce them to transgress idolatry, but even to eat from the tree. So we see that even to seduce to a different sin is prohibited and bears severe punishment, such as happened to the snake. The kol shekain, and certainly goes without saying, shua kfira bikarim, that there is this prohibition when it has to do with denying fundamental principles, shu chomer Torah, which is very severe. When Mr. makes sense, up over shek shelo yitnu lehem hashomrei Torah, lo yinu klum mosas Torah. Makes sense that even if you don't give the federation, they're not going to give to you. Also, litein lahem. You're not allowed to give to them money. Elim ayidena sinas shomrei elim ayideya and the sinas shomrei yinula mostos. Rather, because if they by giving, if you give money to them, they will give money to other institutions. Then that is. Not sure I have more on this here. Yeah. One second. If by giving money, the Shomatar giving mitzvah money, they're going to give money. Yosem Mikol Nesinos Shomrei Torah. There's an interesting answer. Theoretically, if you give by you giving money, let's say the Orthodox Jews gave $1 million, right? And as a result, the non-Orthodox Jews gave back to the Orthodox institutions $2 million. Then that would be okay, because then you're not giving money. The net result of Orthodox Jews giving money is that we're saving money from going to the non-Orthodox institutions. We're saving money because more money is coming back to us than is going into them. So that would be the heter to give money to Federation if they're giving us back more than we give into them. Is that clear? Make sense? Then it comes out we didn't help their heretical institutions. On the contrary, we damaged them. Therefore, people who keep the Torah and are God-fearing must protest with a strong hand. And even muster the forces, to counter, to fight against them, and cancel this matter. If it's not possible, can give them even 1 cent. Rather help all the representatives of institutions of Torah. Below Yirei Hashem, L'shum Esek Ima Federation, and God for people should have nothing to do with federation. In terms in general of participating with wicked people, in terms of optional or mitzvah activities, the prohibition of joining with non-Jews, with idolaters, I should say, in commerce, because they're afraid that the non-Jew is going to have to take an oath to you, and it's going to take an oath in the name of Avodah Zarah. The Rambam adheres to that prohibition. Therefore, Rambam not to make any shutfus, any partnership with non-Jews who believe in idolatry. But the Tosfos says, and the Ramah Paskins like him, that since nowadays they don't take oaths in the name of their Avodah Zarah, so therefore you're allowed to do a shutfus himakum for psak kain Ramah Sham, and that's the way the Ramah Paskins. Okay, in Roshei Yisrael. So therefore, with the Jews are a shayim. Shein oivim avodah zarah. Who do not serve avodah zarah. Ein shum isur laso shutfus himahem. There's no prohibition to make a partnership with them. Ud chasidam ma'asim b'chol yom. Like we see every day. Shem mishtafim mimayim b'mischar. That Jews, Orthodox Jews, and non-Orthodox Jews make partnerships in commerce. Kein b'tzorchei yerkosh kein she'ein le'asor. So R Moshe kind of makes a backtrack here, although it seems like you can't do it officially as part of a federation. You can make a partnership in terms of matters which have to do with the purposes of the city. Therefore, in matters of tzedakah as well, if there was no suspicion that they're going to do something inappropriate, you could join with them. But a federation is certainly going to do things improperly. Therefore, you can't join with them. When there's concern that by joining together with them, Yifuru varu gam gabai. Let's go choose a gabai tzedakah. She'eno shomer Torah, who doesn't keep the Torah properly. Shiasish lokadin will do things inappropriately, not according to halacha. Negam b'tzorchei hatzibur, tzorchei tzibur shel yonei reshus ke'agli gafel chadoyme, or even in matters which are general matters of the community, like maintaining the defenses of a city, etc. Nami also libor gabai she'eno shomer Torah. You still can have a person in charge who's not shomer Torah. Sheyesh lachu shiaseh shelo kadin, because it's possible, we have to suspect it's going to do something inappropriate, like tiva shirim, for example, to levy money from the rich people, pachos me'abinonim banim, to a lesser extent than middle class and poor people, chadayme, etc. We should shoichat, because it might be bribed, the chanufa, and flattered. Maybe it's going to expend money of the community more than is necessary. But nevertheless, unfortunately, most times we are compelled to join with them in these general matters. The and also with idolaters. This is not relevant because obviously those are matters which become matters of Dina the Machusa, matters of state, which we don't have the capacity to govern on our own. Okay, so these are very important and famous tshuvas for R Moshe Feinstein. Any questions so far? No. Okay, so let us go on to one of the most famous proclamations in Jewish history, depending on your perspective, either famous or infamous. Let's have to go to the second half of this handout. I have to find that. 1 second. This is it. Yes. Okay, so this is a psak din from 1957. Okay, this is actually the left hand on the same page of the handout, legal-sized handout. This is a very, very famous psak. And it's what's even more important than the psak itself is who signed on it. In 1957, actually this is 1957, the following psak was issued. Be'ezus Hashem Yisborach, kasher nish'alnu mikama rabbanim, when we were asked by several rabbis, Ba'Medina, in this country, kama chanichu musmachi yeshivas, and several alumni and rabbis which were ordained by the yeshivas, if it was permitted to join the Yos Chaver and be a member of the New York Board of Rabbis. New York Board of Rabbis exists to this day. And similar institutions, which are in other cities, such as the Chicago Board of Rabbis, which are conglomerates of Orthodox, conservative, and Reform rabbis. I should point out, at the time, at least, all of them were men, and all of them were heterosexual, and all of them were, I'm pretty sure, born Jewish. Today, if you join a board of rabbis, there's no guarantee that they won't be men, there's no guarantee that they will be heterosexual, and there's not even a guarantee that they will be Jewish. But back then, that was the case. I finished the first paragraph. Okay. The variant, when we got together to clarify this matter, it came out from us, Asr al Pidin Torah Kadesha, it is forbidden according to the law of the Torah, Lios Chaver, to be a member, Lishtatef, and to join Be'irgun Kazeh, in such an organization. We also asked, Imutar Lishtatef Lios Chaver, the Synagogue Council of America. The Synagogue Council of America no longer exists. It's disbanded about, I don't remember because I think it was in the 90s, I think it disbanded, maybe even the 80s. It used to be the heads, it used to be consist of Reform, Conservative, and Orthodox representatives, and they used to ostensibly represent the Jewish community to the government and other outside organizations. Reform and Conservative also has Reform and Conservative organizations, not just Orthodox organizations with it. The Yatsa Meitano came out from us, Ki Asa Apidin Torah Kedosha, the Tishtativim, according to the law of Torah, is forbidden to join with them, Bein Basar Yachid, whether as an individual, Bein Basar Gush Irgun Tzipuri, or as a communal organization. Vashem Yisbarach Yirachim Amo, may God have mercy his nation, be our pure Tosedo, and heal our and fence our breaches. Nizke Agomas Keren Torah Kedosha B'Yisrael, and we should be zeichet to the uplifting of the Torah, of the horn of Torah, and the Jewish people. And here we have the signatures. So let's go through the signatures here. Avraham Yafin. Rabbi Yafin was the head of a yeshiva called Nevardik. It was a very small yeshiva in Borough Park. It was much larger yeshiva. The Nevardik yeshiva network in Europe was one of the most extensive which existed in pre-war Europe. But here in America was much smaller. Nevertheless, he was a Litvish Rosh Yeshiva of great stature. He was the son-in-law of the Alter from the Barak. Avraham Kamenovich. Avraham Kamenovich was the Rosh Yeshiva of the Mir Yeshiva in Brooklyn. His grandchildren controlled the yeshiva to this very day. And he was also a prominent Rosh Yeshiva in America. Abraham Kotler needs no introduction. Rosh Yeshiva of Lakewood. Gedalia Shor. Also, may not need introduction to the Rosh Yeshiva, Torah Vadas, one of the Rosh Yeshiva. The other one is also signed here. Reb David Lifshitz. Reb David Lifshitz was one of the two signatories from Yeshivas Rabbeinu Yitzchak Elchanan, YU. And he's signed as, again, one of the great Litvish Rosh Yeshiva in America. As you might have noticed by now, there are no Rabbanim signed on this declaration, only Roshei Yeshiva. Reb Chaim Mordechai Katz was the Rosh Yeshiva of the Yeshiva, the Telzer Yeshiva in Cleveland. Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky was the Rosh Yeshiva, of course, in Torah Vadas. Rabbi Yaakov Yitzchak Halevi Ruderman was the Rosh Yeshiva of Ner Yisrael in Baltimore. Rabbi Yitzchak Kudner was the Rosh Yeshiva of Yeshiva Chaim Berlin, Mesivta Chaim Berlin in Brooklyn. Rabbi Menachem Yosef Zaks was the Chofetz Chaim's son-in-law. He too, like Rabbi David Lifshitz, was a Rosh Yeshiva in Yeshivas Rabbeinu Yitzchak Elchanan. He actually was, I believe, the Bochen who gave Bechinas and also signed on the Smicha. R Moshe Feinstein, of course, needs no introduction either. Rosh Yeshiva of MTJ, Mesivta Tiferet Yerushalayim in the Lower East Side. There are two great non-Rabbanim Rosh Yeshiva of the time who are not signed on this, and they are not signed. They're not being signed. There is obviously a glaring omission, which weakens the authority of this proclamation. One of them is Rabbi Yosef Dov Halevi Soloveitchik, who was the Rav, the Roshei Yeshiva of Yeshivas Rabbeinu Yitzchak Elchanan, and the greatest authority in the non-Aguda world at the time. Also, not signed here is Reb Yosef Elio Henkin. This Elio Henkin was